All right, this is Dan Meehan for Fight News Australia, and today we have Danial Mini T Williams, who's stepping in on short notice to fight Rod Tang on April 7th at 1 on TNT 1. Daniel, how are you?
Good, Dan. Yeah, thanks for having me on, man. Appreciate you taking the time. Yeah, been pretty hectic week. Obviously, just trying to catch up on training. Like, man, I don't even have time to shave or get a haircut. So I'm looking forward to doing that eventually.
No worries at all. Well, thanks for stopping by. First off, can you give us a little bit of insight on the origin of the Mini T nickname? That's sort of been on my mind when I was doing my research.
Yeah, well, it would have been about 10 years ago now. Like, one of my old trainers at the Cowsock gym, Mark Poutney, there was a big poster in the gym of Nathan Carnage Corbett versus Tyrone Spong. And I came in with a shaved head. First time I shaved my head, like 15 years old. Walked in the gym. Mark's like, "Hey, stand next to that poster." He's like, "Oh, you look like Tyrone Spong." And then everyone in the gym sort of agreed. And like, "Oh, I'm gonna have to start calling you Mini Tyrone." And then from there, just went into Mini T.
Yeah, right. There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
I can actually see the resemblance now that you mention it, so that's not bad.
Well, yeah, I'll probably shave my head. Like I said, I don't have time for a haircut lately. It's just been training 3 times a day. And so, yeah, I'll get that head shaved when I enter the cage.
Yeah, no worries. So now you've landed a huge opportunity against Rodtang, as we mentioned. He's one of the biggest stars in one championship today, but it's not really something that's just happened overnight for you, has it? You've had an extensive career in Muay Thai up to this point. For those who don't know, can you tell us a little bit about your career so far?
Yeah, so obviously started martial arts. I mean, like 6, 7 years old in various different disciplines. And my mum's from Thailand, so I've always wanted to do Muay Thai because my uncle was like a Muay Thai fighter, like a Northern champion. And when that sort of came about in our suburb, when I was about 8 or 9 years old, I was quick to jump on trying out Muay Thai. And then I had my first fight when I was about 15 years old. And then from that 15 to 21 was just hectic, like just taking lots of fight, many of opportunities that I can. Went and did a few camps in Thailand. And, I never really knew I'd get to that world title status. I was just sort of taking fight by fight. And when I got my first state title, I was just over the moon with that. Didn't think I would still be doing it today. So, when I was 21, I got my first world title. And then just before I turned 22, I got the WMB world title, which is my most prestigious world title, because I had to fight like a number 2 ranked Lumpini dude. So, from there, I guess that's where that's where I sort of got a little bit of exposure. And then, and then from there, I sort of like, it was just kind of I got the opportunity to fight in the K1, and I was unsuccessful there. Definitely not the discipline I like fighting in, just straight punching and kicking. But it was almost a point where I was just like, man, this is the highest stage for being like a short ass, right? There wasn't many opportunities for us guys out there financially and everything. So that was the highest that I could see myself get to, like pay wise, and it wasn't that good. And obviously being unsuccessful there, I wasn't too keen on I could just keep fighting on the local circuit, international circuit, getting paid the same money. And I just sort of like lost a little bit of interest. And at the time I had other things going on in my life. I got my first girlfriend, and I got started a new job, which is basically Altered States Float, family business that we developed. And then, of course, that changed my training regime. So I couldn't commit to those 3 hours, 6 days a week, heading up to Cowsock, my Thai gym, which is about 45-minute drive, depending on traffic. So I've always wanted to do MMA. That was a thing ever since I started. Started like fighting regularly. I seen the old school UFC fights. I thought, oh man, that's awesome. Like full, complete fighters, good on the ground, good everywhere. And obviously with my work schedule and the scrappy MMA gym, which was right next to work, that sort of opened that door up, and just a bit of change of scenery was good for me. And then I committed to that. And with the ONE FC too, I know like they started the Muay Thai Super Series a few years ago. My old coach said, you know, one phone call you're in. They're looking for champions to get in there. But at the time, I'm just like, oh, just still my heart wasn't fully in Muay Thai, and I was enjoying the MMA side of things, and I just had these MMA goals, quite passionate about it. And then yeah, from there, just like obviously still do have that mindset with MMA, and with the ONE FC doing both, I thought like that sort of instilled my like visualization. Oh, it would be awesome one day to head up into ONE FC and be able to do both. And I think this is the start of it. So we'll see what happens. Obviously, pretty freaking hard task, first fight in the actual show, but yeah, it's a great opportunity.
Absolutely, yeah, huge opportunity. So that was actually going to be one of my questions, was about you dabbling in MMA. Does the fight with Rod Tang, does that sort of change the landscape there in terms of how you feel about Muay Thai, or is this do you see this as sort of a way into the MMA ranks over there?
Yeah, don't get me wrong, it's changed the landscape a bit. Like I'm definitely back at my Cow Sock gym, and it's been awesome being back there. It's like, you know, it's still my family. I got them tattooed on my leg, and even through my MMA career, they were really supportive. So it's just really good being back there. And like my main focus is Muay Thai at the moment, this fight, but we'll see where this goes. I'm not thinking, oh, I want to do this fight and then get into MMA. Because I'm enjoying the Muay Thai again as well. But the contract is for Muay Thai and MMA. So I do believe that I will be competing in both, which was a dream of mine, seeing the ONE FC promotion, being able to do both. And it was always just a perfect promotion for me. And yeah.
Brilliant. And what did you think when you got the call to fight Rod Tang?
Oh, yeah. So like I remember seeing Rod Tang fight couple years ago against this Cambodian dude, thinking I was like, man, this guy's awesome fighter, like low kick, heavy hands, just goes in there to fight. And I like that, you know, like touches gloves, is there to fight. He's not trying to work out his opponent too much. He's just straight in. So I would just, you know, like just sitting on the couch, obviously casual fan, just like, yeah, man, I'd love to fight him one day. So that's always been in my mind. But it was funny when actually, so like the truth is, man, like the last year I haven't been training too much. I went into basically like your stereotypical Thai coach, got into coaching, lots of trips to the pub, like wasn't really sure what I was doing with my life. Like there wasn't much going on with the fights. Like I had my last MMA fight last year, and it was just sort of hard getting fights. And then when I wanted to fight, like had injuries. So it was just sort of, yeah, a bit hard doing what I wanted to do. And so I hit up ONE FC, just look, like I need it, like I want to fight. So I'm just going to try my luck. I'm just going to hit him up and just be like, hey, I'm, you know, a Muay Thai world champion. I'm doing MMA now. And then the guy who contacted me back, I actually met him a few years ago in Melbourne, and he in the Rebellion Muay Thai promotion, and he was the guy that was involved in bringing the top level Thais into Australia to fight the likes of like Toby Smith and all that stuff. And so I got the message from him after the email, and when I sent the email, it was after a pub night, right? It was just a bit of a hero. Give him a message, sort of forgot about it. And yeah, got the message from that guy saying like, hey, I want to chat with you. I was like, holy shit. Like I was walking the dog with my missus at the time, and I was like, oh, wouldn't it be funny if they offered me Rod Tang? And then boom, literally that was the conversation. Like 20 minutes is talking about it. Like, you know, like we know you want to do MMA, but like we're not really looking for MMA fighters. We need some Muay Thai fighters. And I'm like, yeah, man, I'm open to anything. I need this right now. So yeah, just got me off my ass, and just, yeah, here I am. It's almost like the stars aligned, you know, because I know it's a tough climate for a lot of fighters out there. Like obviously the original guy that was supposed to fight Rod Tang, like he deserves it more than anyone. Been training for ages, but just being where he is, he just can't get into different countries and that. So I sort of got pretty lucky there as well. Sort of knew that, you know, like Perth, Australia fighters have been in there. So if they need fighters, probably a good time to email them right now.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So you got the call. It looks like only sort of 2 weeks from fight day. You say you hadn't been doing a whole lot of
Well,
training.
yeah. So I mean, like it's about 4 weeks ago, like when I got the call saying like, look, there's an opportunity for you to fight. Um, but obviously it got confirmed 2 weeks out because they weren't sure with his opponent if he's allowed to get in. But they're like, all right, well, you can actually fight this Russian dude. And then because that opponent could get into Singapore now, so sort of just, yeah, all right, so I'm not fighting Rod Tang. That's good because I can prepare for this Russian dude and then fight him later. But it is what it is. And like 2 weeks out, like, no,
All right, a little bit of a technical difficulty there, but we're back.
yeah,
So you were
apologies.
saying you weren't doing a whole lot of training before you got the call to fight Rod Tang. So how do you prepare for a fight like this in so little time? Do you sort of do you just go into the gym and smash conditioning, or do you just sort of focus more on strategy for now? How does it look?
Well, exactly the two things that you said. So it's a once in a lifetime opportunity. So just have to make it work. It is what it is. Conditioning, like I'm doing 2 conditioning sessions a day and it sucks, man. It's like literally 20 minutes is the worst 20 minutes you can possibly imagine. And then strategy, we just talk strategy. All right, this is what we have. This is what we're going to work with. So that's basically it's just game plan. And even before, like even if I was training the whole time, game plan's just been a big thing, which being put into my fights. Because before, back in the day, you just traditional Thai, you just hit your pads. It's just a one size fits all, and you just go in there and fight. But now, obviously, at higher levels, you just need to be smart. And yeah, so that's basic conditioning. It's hard to learn, brush up on new skills and that with short time. So it's just getting my body as fit as I can be, but being smart with it as well. And it's good. I got a lot of access to good recovery. So, there's like my strength and conditioning coach, Jason Kavanagh, says there's no such thing as overtraining. There's just such thing as under recovery. So yeah, always believed in that. Train as hard as I can, but then recover as hard as I can as well.
Right, makes sense. And how far in advance do you head over to Singapore?
Now I'm heading there this Saturday. So yeah, leaving. I'm just gonna move this because I think phone's saying I'm getting too warm. Yeah, so Saturday I leave at lunchtime, so about 5 days before the fight.
Right. Do you have to quarantine or anything when you get there?
So basically, yeah, it's not really like I get there the whole week that I'm there, I'm in a hotel, and I sort of only leave for scheduled training sessions, some media stuff, and of course the fight. So purely there for business. It's not exactly quarantine, but you can't go much further than the hotel or the fight night. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's going to be interesting. And when I come back, obviously it's 2 weeks quarantine in the hotel here.
What are you going to do for 2 weeks in hotel quarantine?
Yeah, man. Well, like the business has been put on a bit of a halt, so there's lots of stuff to do there. Yeah, just marketing wise, I'm just going to be in there with the laptop, doing everything that I can to catch up and then promote the business, and then obviously do a little bit of training as well because I just want to keep this going now. Sort of the 2020 year didn't take advantage of it, so now I've got the opportunity. No matter how this fight goes, I'm just going to non-stop training from now on.
Yeah. And how do you feel like you match up with Rod Tang?
It's going to be tough, man, but I got huge belief. I love these fights where I got nothing to lose. And yeah, I think he's a good fight for me. Like some of the technical guys in there wouldn't be the best fight for me right now, but the fact that he trades, like there's always that chance, So yeah, it's gonna be tough as fucking shit, but yeah, I really believe that I can pull it off.
Yeah. And I know you've got a bit of a taste for some of the flashier techniques. Can we expect to see any sort of fun stuff in there, or are you going to be all business?
I hope so, man. Nah, definitely. We'll just, yeah, like plan A, plan B, plan C. Obviously, everyone has a plan until they get hit in the face, and we'll just see how his power is. But I do plan to just have fun in there as well and try some flashy moves. But yeah, stick to the plan first. Just obviously, yeah, just don't go too crazy when I touch the gloves. Like meet him in the middle, but obviously don't just brawl. Like that's what he wants, and that's how he wins too.
Absolutely. So how do you visualize the fight going down? How do you get your hand raised?
There's many ways. Ultimate way would be like something cool, like a jumping knee or spinning back elbow. But you got to aim high, right?
Absolutely.
But yeah, just to be able to not sort of stop all 3 rounds if it goes that far. But like I come to fight, so it's just my style is like, I'm there to try and end the fight as quickly as possible. Not to play this safe game. And like I've seen a lot of opponents of his, they're on the back foot, probably for a good reason as well, is Rod Tang. But like, yeah, it's just not my style of fighting to be able to like run away from all these shots, hit him and then move and try to get that points decision. So yeah.
Definitely. All right. Before I let you go, do you have any sponsors or anyone you'd like to shout out? You said you have a business that you're going to be promoting in hotel quarantines. This is probably an opportunity to do that as well. So I'll hand over to you.
Yeah, thanks, Dan. Just shout out to Altered States Float, Rest and Recovery Center. Something that I've been using ever since I've been fighting is float tanks, a big thing. It just makes sense, just complete weightless environment. And just your time to chill out. It's a stressful sport, so I think every athlete should be using it, and a lot of high athletes do use it. And of course, just my camps, like my gyms, Calsock Muay Thai gym, be with me. We're there from the start, and of course, Scrappy MMA as well, who's just changing the game, making me think as a fighter. So yeah, shout out to them, Jason Kavanagh, Ben Vickers, Darren Kurovic, Brett Langlands, Jordan Godfredson, Steve Russell, and my beautiful girlfriend Carla, who just puts up with so much of my shit. So I appreciate that. And lastly, the big people in my life, my parents, of course, they just I'm still like a spoiled child, they do anything for me. So big shout out to them. And thank you, Dan, and Fight News Australia. It's I've been following you guys for a while now. You guys are onto it, so I appreciate the exposure that you guys give us fighters.
No worries at all. I appreciate that. Daniel, thank you so much for stopping by, and all the best on April 7th.
Awesome. All right, Dan. All right. Thank you very much.